What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Dewey Beer Company, and they are out of Dewey Beach, Delaware, and this is their High in the Pyrenees. So they are calling this one a double IPA that is brewed with Sultana, Columbus, and Amarillo hops. It comes in at 8% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed. Time of review. This can is just over 6 weeks old. I want to give a huge thanks and shout out once again to a very good friend of mine and a fellow BeerTuber, Ridge over at Ridgeopolus, aka Get a Nose on a Beer Reviews, for hooking me up with this one. I'll post a link in the description box to Ridge's channel along with the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies he hooked me up with. And he's a great guy. He has a great channel, fun, entertaining channel, and he loves his hop forward beers. And he sent me some, and he sent me some from Dewey. Now, full disclosure, Ridge, I opened this one off camera. Why? When I grabbed this one out of the fridge, this can was extremely tight to the point where I thought it was going to explode. Like, it was bulging at the top, and I was like, do we got a gush on our hands? So I went to the sink, I cracked it open. Yes, we did. I lost maybe 2 ounces, maybe 3. It gushed. I poured a little bit out. It gushed more, poured a little bit out, and we're good. This is where we're standing right now. So I don't know if this beer is infected. I don't know if it's oxidized. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's just overcarbonated. But yeah, I thought it was going to explode, and I had a feeling that if I cracked open the camera, it was definitely going to gush. And it did. Even right now, like, I can look into the can and the froth from the head is just sitting at one spot. So hopefully this beer is still good and it still tastes like it should, but we'll see. Anyway, I got this one from Ridge. I put it right into the fridge. That rhymed. I didn't mean for it to rhyme. Ridge into the fridge. And then, yeah, that's it. It's been in my fridge the entire time, so I don't know what's happened. When he sent me this, I'm trying to think, this can was less than a month old, so I don't know. Anyway, we're going to get poured into the beer tree glass here. I will say the hops in this one, Sultana, Columbus, and Amarillo, that's a weird mixture. I hope I enjoy this one. Hopefully it's held up. We'll see. Let's give it a pour. We'll see if it has crazy carbonation as well. I'm going to try to give it a slow pour here. All right, doesn't seem too bad. All right, we'll go like this. That should be fine. All right, cool. So hopefully it's... Christmas is saved. It's not Christmas anymore, but okay, so, okay, the color. Now, I don't know how it's going to look on camera, but in person, that looks oxidized. Because it has this really murky orange color, but it almost has like a gray tinge to it. This is like a really deep orange color. This looks like an oxidized beer in person. So maybe that's clue number 1 that this might be off. The head is frothy, but it's soap sudsy, and it looks just like, I mean, it's about just over a finger. It's off-white. It just looks like an oxidized beer. It looks like an oxidized hazy. We'll see nose-wise where we stand. Hopefully it's not. Yeah, I think this one's oxidized. Because underneath, I'm getting like this big, like, stale cardboard thing. Yeah, it has like this stale cardboard kind of vibe to it, but underneath it, I'm getting like juicy orange and like a peach or a apricot, something like that, like a sweet jammy stone fruit. But there's just this hovering aroma of just like stale cardboard. It's just, I don't know. It almost has like an alcohol astringency too on the nose. Yeah, it's like making my nostrils, like the nose hairs on my my nostrils kind of burn. I'm gonna drink it for science purposes, but also because I don't know necessarily if the taste is going to be affected. But when I see a beer like this and I'm smelling it, it just smells like this. Maybe it's just a single can that was off. Maybe it's the entire 4-pack he bought. I don't know. I don't think Ridge posted the review of this one. I don't think so. Because I don't remember him reviewing this. If he did, I don't remember. But I'd imagine he'd have been like, yeah, this is oxidized. Because it just smells oxidized. Anyway, let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again, Ridge. Yeah, it's oxidized. It sucks because I'm getting remnants of what I feel this beer could be. And it's really fucking tasty, at least from like the front. Man, that sucks ass. Sucks complete ass. I'm going to review this one like I would any other beer. You know why? Fuck it. Ridge sent it to me. I'm definitely not going to drink the rest of that can. Just, you know, and I know Ridge would wouldn't expect me to drink this. If I sent him a beer that was infected or it was oxidized or whatever, I wouldn't expect him to drink it as well. But I'm going to review this one. I'm going to grade it. I'm going to do the whole 9. Why? Fuck it. I think at this point in time, if you're putting beers out on the market and they're oxidized, whether it's the brewery's fault, a distributor's fault, the store's fault, it happens. But I got to review what's in my fucking glass here. So we're going to review it. Body, mouthfeel. Body, this is like medium body, 8%. That's fine. Mouthfeel, there's a lot of carbonation clearly. It's very spritzy and effervescent on the palate, but it's not crazy carbonated. Like I've had like extremely carbonated beers where it just like rips all of the flavors off my tongue as soon as I take a sip. It's not here. This is like moderately to high carbonated, but it's not doing that. It's not making the finish extremely dry. It's not making my palate devoid of any saliva and just like super bone dry. Body's fine, mouthfeel, a little bit too carbonated, but whatever. The taste, right at the forefront. I'm getting more malt than you would get because it's oxidized from a beer like this, as like a malty, almost caramel, white bread type of thing. Right after that, this is where I think this beer would shine if it wasn't oxidized. There's a ton of like juicy orange, juicy tangerine, and then like a jammy, like apricot, peachy stone fruit. And that hits me like a third of the way through the palate. And it's so nice because you hit with that all that malt sweetness that you're not expecting, because that's, you know, beer like this isn't meant to be malt forward. But you get all that sweet, juicy, I would say more of a juicy orange than a tangerine, but like whatever, juicy citrus fruit, more to the orange tangerine side. Then you get that peachy apricot jamminess, and it's so fucking delicious. But then the second half of the palate hits, and you're just like, nope, nope. Right after that, I'm hit with this really earthy, bland, cardboard, stale kind of feeling. That's pretty much the second half of the palate. There's this really astringent bitterness, but because the beer is so malt forward and sweet to begin with, it doesn't even balance it out. It still leans sweet, but there's this like just astringent bitterness on the back of the palate. It's semi to full on dry, but it's not, again, not like some crazy dry beers where, again, you're devoid of all saliva on your palate, but it's still pretty dry. Very carbonated too. Like I said, I'm burping. Like I very rarely ever burp in reviews, and I've already burped like 3 times. Hides the alcohol, astringent, like nostril hair burning kind of alcohol vapors in the nose, not on the palate, but it doesn't really matter. No, because it's just not a good beer. What I'm drinking in this can specifically in my glass, there's like 20% left of what I think would have been a good beer if it wasn't oxidized. And I don't even know if, I mean, I feel like a lot of these characters are, because it's oxidized, infected, whatever you want to say. I mean, being oxidized is kind of, it's not like a straight infection, but obviously it's not what they intended the beer to be. And again, just look at that color. It just has this, I mean, I've had beers like this that have this color. It's just one of those, to me in person, on camera, it's just going to look like, is it going to look like super, super dark orange? In person, though, it has like this dull grayish, like so this is like turkey gravy, but even worse. Sometimes you get turkey gravy looking New England style like IPAs and double IPAs, and they're delicious. This is not that. It's the last sip I'll take because I don't drink any more of this. Yeah, it's this beer that I'm drinking in my glass. This is not what they intended from it. I'm pretty sure. It gushed out. It feels oxidized. There's something off. It happens. So I appreciate Ridge sending a can of this my way. It's unfortunate that it ended up like this, but I'm going to have to rate it because that's what I do on my channel, rate it. And, you know, I'm going to give this a 1.5 out of 5. I can't believe I drank like 4 or 5 ounces of that, but it's not a good beer. Something wrong with it. Went off. Anyway, price and availability. I have no idea. This is where you can chime in, Ridge, if you know. I'd imagine probably like 18, 20 bucks for a 4-pack of that, which from what I'm drinking, I wouldn't pay for this beer again. If it was a really good beer, like I feel like, again, the remnants of it, then yeah, 18, 20 bucks is kind of the going rate for this. Availability, I don't know where Dewey gets distro. I'd imagine they probably get close to Delaware. Maybe they get into like PA and things like that, but we don't see them here in our neck of the woods in the Western New York area. As you can tell, I'm kind of bummed out. And the reason why I'm bummed out is, here's what it comes down to. I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent here, which at this point, you probably have already turned it off, which is fine. You know, these beers are expensive. You know, all of us beer tubers who buy beers, like if you're buying, you know, good stuff or, top tier stuff or hype stuff or whatever, you're typically paying $20 a 4-pack for beers. So this can could be $5 and you're drinking here. And it's disappointing because Ridge spent his hard-earned money on this can. He sent it to me thinking, hey, I like Dewey. I think they're one of the best breweries in Delaware State, if not the best. And I think Joe would enjoy this one, and I'll send one his way. And then I get it, and this happens, and it's just disappointing. Ridge doesn't want to see a review of me reviewing one of the beers he sent to me and just be like, this is oxidized and this is trash. I don't want to be drinking this because it's not good. And I don't think it's Ridge's fault. I don't think it's my fault. I think it's just how it is. I'm going to look on tap and see if anybody else had like any issues with gushing or, being oxidized or whatever. I feel like, I hope this is an isolated case and that people aren't drinking this and, going nuts about it. Jay from This Guy's Thoughts, he drank it. I'm reviewing this like a couple days after I saw his review, and I'm pretty sure that I don't think his gushed. I don't think so. So maybe I just got a bad can. Let's hope that's the case. Anyway, not going to sit here and keep you any longer. There's really no pros to this one. Maybe the alcohol's somewhat hidden, but it's 8%, not really because, getting a little bit warm in chest and whatnot. But at the end of the day, just not a good beer. 1.5 out of 5. If you've had this one before, whether Ridge or Jay or whoever Ridge sent this one to outside of me, if you've had this one, let me know what you think about it. Did your beer gush like this? Was it oxidized? Did it have this color? Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? I want to hear from you because beers like this, it sucks. It happens occasionally. I wish it didn't, but here we are. Anyway, thanks again, Ridge, for hooking me up with this one. Even though it didn't go as planned, I still appreciate you sending one my way to give it a go. And thanks to everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Till the next one. Cheers.